Hey friends, welcome back to Homeschool-ology. Today I have a review of Pinwheels Level 3. You guys, if you've been around, you know how much I love Pinwheels, and I'm excited to share the Level 3 with you guys in this video today. Here, welcome. My name is Nikki. I'm a homeschooling mom of 4. I've got a 7th grader down to a preschooler, and I like to talk about secular homeschooling as well as other things like motherhood and family travel and being a working stay-at-home mom who homeschools and all that good stuff. And today, like I said, I'm going to be talking to you guys about Pinwheels Level 3. So the wonderful people over at Rooted in Language have sent me this copy for my honest review to you guys. And if you are not new here, you will know that I have a love affair with Pinwheels. We have tried many things, and Pinwheels has just been the right ticket for us. We really have found what works in our homeschool with Pinwheels. So I've already done a review and kind of like look through of the year 1 and I'll link that here for you guys. But today we're going to be looking at specifically level 3. So we started level 3 maybe like 3 weeks ago with my daughter, and so I got it all printed out, and I will say this is the teacher manual for level 3. And if you don't know, Pinwheels level 1 and 2 is meant for the first year, and levels 3 and 4 is meant for the second year. So you're supposed to get through 2 levels of Pinwheels each year, and this is just the teacher manual for level 3. As you can see, I bound it into 2 separate copies because it was just too big to put in a spiral bind. They recommend binding or putting it in a big binder, one of these bad boys. But I really like spiral binding, so that's what I did, and I just bound it into 2 separate books, and that's not an issue. So I will say it's that large because it is extremely detailed. I'm going to give you a look inside, and it is not only gives you a script of what to say, but it also gives you the reasoning behind what you're doing for everything that you're doing within this program. And I love that. I love to know why I'm teaching something to my daughter and why is it taught in this way, and then I like to know how do I teach it. So I want to know why and I want to know how, and this program really provides that really well. So that does mean that it's a lot, there's a lot of material, and it is a PDF, so you can't just use it right from your Kindle or your tablet or your computer, and you can just read it from there. But I'm a hard copy paper kind of gal, so I did print mine out. It did take a long time to print, I wasn't actually doing anything for that time other than babysitting the printer, so I was able to work on other things while I was doing that. And then I did print all of the pieces that came with level 3, minus the things that that I already printed in levels 1 and 2, and it does tell you very specifically in the directions, if you have level 1 and 2, you don't need to print, these pages or whatever. So that was really easy. But I'm going to show you kind of a little bit of the bits and pieces here, and then I am going to give you a down view in a minute of a look inside. I did go ahead and pick up this little, I got it in the jewelry section at Hobby Lobby, and it's just a little divided case. It's thicker than I really, it's not ideal, but it works well enough. We've got all of our vowels here, and then all of our, special letter teams and all that stuff down here. And then they're in alphabetical order in here, but 2 in each hole. It works fine. And then over here I have like the capitals and the extra tiles and things like that. So this works fine. It's a lot easier than trying to organize it each and every single time. Still, if somebody has an even better way of organizing these letter pieces, I'd love to know that. But you've got your letter tiles, and then this is probably one of my daughter's favorite things, and it's like a little flip book, and you roll a dice, and then they read whatever's here, and then they roll the dice, and we just count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then they turn that one, and then they read this word. And this is just a really fun activity to do. you know, kids love rolling dice, so that makes it fun and interesting. And then I just put a rubber band on this. This is one of those mini binders, and with the mini binder dividers. And I just put this rubber band on here because if you don't, sometimes they'll slip out like that. So I found that just kind of helps keep it all contained in there. And then they do have common and caution words, which are kind of like sight words. And so I keep those in here. I used to keep them in her language arts binder, but with level 3, there's, as you can see, there's quite a few of them in there. So I just grabbed this. I had this on hand as a little index card box, and I just threw them in there. So those are your like manipulatives that you will use, and then you will create a binder, and then I'm going to give you a down view and talk to you more about this later, but this has like all the extra sheets, like dictation sheets and all the books that you're going to read and everything like that is in here. But I'm going to give you a down view in a minute and show you how I organize this, because it is a little different than what they tell you to do. And then of course you have the language arts binder that your child creates, and this was the one that we started in level, you know, 1 and 2, and then we're continuing it with level 3, and I'll give you a peek inside this in a minute as well. Or actually, I'll just give you a peek inside of all of that stuff now. All of the directions to set this stuff up is laid out very clearly in the PDF that you get from Rooted in Language. And so, yes, it's a little time consuming, but just pop on your favorite YouTube channel and take some time to just sit and cut things out while you watch your favorite YouTubers chat about all the things. So let's look at the Educator guide. Again, remember I've made this into 2 books because it is rather thick. But it is thick because, first of all, a ton of information. This is the table of contents. But each unit, it's going to tell you what you need and what you're going to use in each unit, and then it's going to give you a nice little layout of what you're going to study and when, like what day you're going to do it, how many days each unit is going to take, a place for you to make notes. Then you get what you need to teach this unit, so all the materials that you are going to use, and then why you are teaching what you're teaching. And this is what I find so helpful, is that like it's telling me this is why it's important and this is why this is included in this program. A lot of curriculum doesn't include this, and this is what I find really unique, that it's really helpful to me to know why am I teaching this to her. And then there's a what you teach section, and so the level 3 is now broken out into day, and it's literally, this is what you're going to do on day 1. This is the background information for the teacher. Anything that's in a yellow box, this is what you say to the child. This is like, you just read it verbatim and you do the things that are here. It gives you examples of all the worksheets that you're going to make, not worksheets, but the sheets that you're going to make to put into their language arts binder. And then different ways you can sort. It even tells you here different ways you can sort your letter tiles, and I found the boxes the most helpful. So it's very laid out for you. Day 1, here's what you're doing, this is why you're doing it, and here's what you say. Everything in a yellow box is here's what you say. And then it tells you if you need to do any workbook pages, it tells you to do them. They provide videos on how to do all these things, which I think is so wonderful. So when you get the download, you will get a code to access those videos. So that's great. And then as you can see, it just continues on with day 2. Anything in yellow, you read verbatim. Anything not in yellow, you read to yourself and tell them what to do. And then that's all of day 2. Day 3 continues the same way. Day 4, this one happens to be a day or 5 day. So anything that says RK is your reading kit, and that is the big binder that you make. So this is the reading kit for level 3, and inside, so it gives you 2 reading kits. Reading kit A has the books and stuff in it that you're gonna read, and so they do have their own little readers that you read. So you print these out and you cut these out and you staple them together to make your own little books, and then they have little cards here that help them with retelling, and we're learning about plot lines and things like that. So that's what comes in reading kit A. And then in reading kit B, you get or I'm sorry, Reading Kit A is all of this stuff. Reading Kit B is the books. So Reading Kit A, they give you things like sentences to read and paragraphs to read and word lists, and you're even in level 3, you're starting to read actual paragraphs. And so all of that, and then any copywork or dictation pages are also in this reading kit. So you, in their directions, they tell you to make a reading kit A and a reading kit B. I find it much easier to just put my reading kit B materials, which are the books. I find it so much easier to just put, so this is Unit 2. Unit 2 is the first time you have something from Reading Kit B. So I just put my Reading Kit B right at the end of my Reading Kit A Unit 2. So it's all in one spot. I don't have to flip back and forth to look for it. And when I'm doing Unit 2, this is what I need for Unit 2. It's all right here, all in one spot. So I do prefer this way of laying it out as opposed to what they tell you to do. And then there is an Appendix C, which has a lot of different little activities in there, and as well as these different writing papers that you can make copies of for them to do things like dictation and such on. And so what I do is I just made one copy of everything and I keep it in here. And then if I know I need a sheet, I will just run it over to my printer that has a copier and make a copy of it real quick so that she has it right there. And that doesn't take too much time or too much distraction. So that's kind of what I do to limit searching for things and flipping around for things, and also limit what's kept in this binder, because it is, as you can see, it's pretty darn thick. There's a lot of stuff in there. Now mind you, I've cut up all my books and put them in here like this, so if you didn't have, I feel like in the book they tell you to do that with the kids, but we need some time saved. So I went ahead and cut those up already and keep them in those page protectors like that all together, so it's all in one spot. And then at the end of each unit, it tells you this is what you've done, this is what you've made, this is what you've talked about, and where you're going to put those things that you've created. So as you can see, the smack dab rule, you've created a little page for that, and it tells you to put it in the phonics and spelling section of your language arts binder. Every student would make their own language arts binder, and it's divided into, and if you've already done level 1 and 2, then you already have this together and you just continue using this. But if you haven't done this yet, then it's divided into phonics, and then spelling, and then grammar, and handwriting to keep samples of their handwriting, and word study, and reading, writing and editing, and I think the last page was just blank. They didn't have another one. So, but you set that up, and this is where you keep all of the pages that you create together with your students during the process. So, yes, it is a lot of pieces. I will adamantly admit that. Every day when I pull this out, I have to pull out my teacher manual, I have to pull out the language arts binder, I have to pull out the reading kit, and I have to pull out the student workbook, which I'll show you inside in just a minute. And then sometimes we have some kind of manipulative that I have to pull out. So yes, it's a lot of pieces. However, they work so well together and they really help to make it so clear. My camera cut out on me, sorry, but what I was saying was it really is worth it to have all of these materials, because it really does help give the student a clear understanding of what you're doing. So I find all of the pieces work together really harmoniously to give you a really great, thorough program. So I just wanted to give you a second or a peek into the student workbook while we were here, while I was doing this. So this Unit 1 was a review of the previous section, so I'm going to skip over to Unit 2. I missed Unit 2. So Unit 2, you can see you're starting to do some more writing than you were doing in level 1 and 2. You're starting to fill in some things. You're doing a lot more dictating. And less of like the actual like learning to write the letters and stuff. So So yeah, so the workbook is not as big this time. I feel like levels 2 and 3 had much bigger workbooks, but I feel like we are doing a lot of writing outside of the workbook now. Like we're doing a lot of dictation and writing, original writing, so writing our own sentences, and we do that on separate paper outside of the workbook. Okay, so I hope that was helpful to kind of see everything kind of, you know, a look inside of each of these pieces and how they're used. And I really enjoy this program. It has made a huge difference in my daughter's ability to read. She enjoys it so much more than anything we've tried in the past. We've tried All About Reading, and we've tried Logic of English, and then just like Bob books and stuff like that. But this has so far been the thing that she's enjoyed the most, and she has made tremendous progress. She is on the older side of what this program is, you know, designed for, but I still feel like it's very engaging for her, and not too babyish, even with her being a little bit too older, you know, a little bit older. And then we just kind of go maybe a little bit faster, although I'm noticing about level 3, we're about in level 3 in the teacher manual, I might have already said this, but they actually laid out per day what you should do per day, and I'm noticing that we're staying pretty much close to that now, that we're in level 3, and that it's kind of the level she needs to be at, and so yeah, so it's been going great. We absolutely love this program. So level 3 is out now. You can go ahead and purchase that. Year 2 is supposed to be level 3 and level 4. They're not quite finished with level 4 yet, but it is coming out before the end of this year. And so if you buy year 2, you will get level 4 by the time you need it. But level 3 is available right now. You can go purchase it right now. And then hopefully by the end of the year, you will get level 4. By the end of the year, you should get level 4. And I will be doing a review, like a flip through review on level 4 when it comes out. So make sure you've headed down and hit that notification bell so you can see when that video becomes available. And while you're down there, I hope you will hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up to let me know that you guys like this content. Again, thank you to the wonderful ladies over at Rooted in Language for giving me this copy to review. We love it so much, and it is just a really valuable program in my opinion. As a homeschooling mom who's been doing this for 7 years and a former school teacher, I really think this is an excellently designed program that is just meets so many different levels of children. So if you guys have any questions or anything you'd like me to try to answer, I'd be happy to do so down in the comments. Also, if you reach out to the ladies at Rooted in Language, they are incredibly helpful and wonderful and willing to help with anything that you need, which is what I think is so great about these kind of smaller businesses, is that you really feel like you get personal attention from them if you have questions or needs. And we just really enjoy this program very much. So I'm happy to help you guys if you have any questions. It is a lot of pieces, but I promise it is worth it. It is worth a little bit of effort to get it set up, to get it ready and going, and just having this program that meets a child's needs from so many different levels or so many different approaches. That is just so invaluable with any kind of curriculum, is that they're not just aiming, you know, towards the auditory learners, or they're not just aiming towards the hands-on learners. They really are looking at all of the types of learners and giving children multiple options to learn what they need to learn. So I think that's all I have for you guys today, and I hope you will come back and chat with me again real soon, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.